Hey guys, Tony here, CCxRC. We got a new RC on the bench for you, the ARRMA Granite 4x4 Mega Truck. The Granite was out before in two-wheel drive, but now they've got it for you coming in four-wheel drive, and so we're going to take a look at this today. I do want to say that there's one lucky boy here in Virginia who's going to be getting this truck as a Christmas present, and his dad was cool enough to contact me and say, hey, do you want to unbox this and show people what this truck looks like? And I said, sure, let's do it. And so he brought it to me. We're going to unbox it. We're going to be very careful with it so we can put it back in the box, make it look like brand new. So when he opens it on Christmas, he may not know that it's been touched. So let's do it. Everybody has different demands, and a lot of people like to see the packaging. So we're going to quickly go through the box and just show you guys what it is talking about. Basically, the first thing here we're looking at is the diff size, and it's just saying that it's bigger than the diffs in a lot of the other vehicles that they've had. And these are going to be steel diffs. Here it talks about how easy it is to access the modules. We'll kind of look at that a little bit later and just kind of talk about how this works. And that's a really cool feature on these. It's really easy to work on them. This kind of just shows you all of the stuff that we'll look at in more detail in person. And then here's where we're looking at the metal gears, the super smooth bearings, and the power module. So all of that is laid out here for you guys. And then they show you here what you get in the box for this vehicle, ready to run. All you need is 4 AA batteries, which is awesome. So let's get this thing unboxed. Remember, be gentle this time, Tony. Alrighty, here's everything that you get in the box, guys. First thing we'll take a look at is the charger. It's a US plug on this one. Comes with a T-style connector for charging up that battery that's in there. Alright, so here's the transmitter that comes in it. It is the Tactic TTX300. This is a fantastic controller that comes with a lot of axial vehicles as well. It takes 4 AA batteries, as we'll see in here. This one actually is from my ARRMA Sentin 4x4, but it's the exact same controller, so I didn't want to unbox his and take it out of the wrapping because this one already is. But it's the same controller. You've got steering dual rates, throttle trim, steering trim, and then if you flip it over on this side, you've got your power switch, and then you've got reverses for throttle and reverse for steering. So if you're pulling on the throttle and it's going the wrong way, you can change that here, and that'll fix it for you real quick and easy. Same with steering. If it's backwards, you can just switch it right here. So that's great and handy. Good controller, good range. We like this a lot. We'll take a quick look at the manual and the parts that are included. All right, so here is the manual. And so this doesn't give any of the parts explosions. What this does do is go into a lot of detail on how to drive the car and get it running and charging the battery and things like that. But to get the detail for parts explosions and all of that, you just go to the ARRMA website. They've got it for you there. So here's the parts bag, all the goodies that you get in. Again, these are the ones that came with mine. Same pieces. I checked them out and made sure I had everything here for you from my kit. But you get this little tool here that's kind of a multi-tool for getting off your wheel lugs in here, but also for tightening down your slipper, which we'll show you how to do a little bit later. You also get this jumper, which is used on the ESC to be able to change your battery type that you're using if you want to use LiPo batteries. We'll show you that as well, the jumpers that are already in there. These are basically extras. You get 3 Allens, and you get some of these spacers for your shocks because they're not threaded body, which we'll look at again here. All right, so quick look at the truck. I already mentioned in my last video, if you haven't seen it, I have the ARRMA Sentin video. We'll get these up and actually do a comparison of them real quick here in a minute. But you'll know that I really do like the graphics and the styling that ARRMA puts into their vehicles. One of the other cool things that they have are these retainers for their body clips, which are just fantastic. So the body comes covered to keep it nice and pretty. Here you can see the graphics. Look at that like checkered flag look on here. Just polygons and shapes and all of that. Just really, really cool graphics on these. The body feels pretty rigid as well. So let's go ahead and take the clips off. We'll take a look at the body. And so it actually feels really thick. Might actually feel thicker than the Sentin body. We'll take a look at that in a minute. But yeah, here's the graphics. Looks fantastic. We're going to go through the car here now with the body off and take a look at the inside and everything you get. First thing that we're going to notice are the D boots. These are their Fortress tires. They're big and knobby and nice soft rubber. They feel like they'll do decent off-road. Go here to the plastic shocks that we talked about earlier, and you can put your preload spacers in here just by pulling down if you want a different load on your shocks. It's got a plastic bumper. Everything up front and throughout the car is going to be plastic parts, which is okay. It's very durable plastic that they use. You can see the telescoping drive shafts that they've got coming in right through here, and it's got like a U-joint style universal joint ends on there. And yeah, overall it looks a lot like the Sentin did. It does change here in the way that they've done this little guard. Now this keeps the dirt and debris from getting up in off the tires and into your chassis area. And so I've got the Sentin out right here, and you can see that it goes down lower, and it's actually got these little guards that come off the side because of the way that the body sits. And so this body actually goes right up against this plastic in order to provide protection for your body, which is great. I like that they did that. Here is the steering servo. This is a 5 kg steering servo. Don't know exactly what that equates to, but the servo feels all right on the Sentin, so I'm thinking on the Granite it'll feel all right as well. The 35 amp ESC, and here is where those jumpers go. You can see that they're kind of offset, and when you want to change and run a LiPo battery, you change the positioning of those jumpers, which is diagrammed right here on the side to let you know how you should be covering those pins based on the battery that you're running. So we've got the ARRMA 12-turn motor right here going into the gearbox that goes to the rear diff and then the back of the car, which looks a lot like the front of the car. Same type of telescoping drive shafts. The shocks here. One thing I will point out about the shocks is that they do feel different than a lot of them. Like the trackless ones, you take off this cap here on the top, and that's where you'd fill your shocks. Well, these ones you actually key it from the bottom. This piece on the front, it's easier to see on this side here. Just you take your spring off and you ride it all the way up, and you twist this as like a key for the bottom. Anyway, they've got great videos on the ARRMA site that show you how to do that, and so we're not going to go into detail. I just thought I would mention it. But here is the nickel metal hydride battery that comes with it, and it's a 2400 milliamp hour, and it is a T connector style, and so it's 7-cell, but you can see it's using the Velcro straps to put this in. We're going to go ahead and just unclip this real quick to take a closer look down here at the inside. The interesting thing that they've done here, which I kind of like in a lot of ways, is they've made this center drive shaft telescoping. So it's spring loaded, so if you pull on it, it'll pop up and off just like that. And so you can easily get it out to be able to access your diffs and other things. So we'll just slide that out. It's hard to do one-handed, but there is the center drive shaft pulled out that easily. And in here is how you would then adjust your slipper clutch using this red tool that came with it. And so that'll just slide right in here. And to tighten it, I think it is, you hold it and you drive it the wheels forward, and to loosen it, you go backwards. So that is how they show you how to do it on the ARRMA website. And so we'll slide this back in here and pop that back on. Boom. Now the other thing that you can do is you take off a couple screws and you can pull this whole gearbox right on out. I think it's actually only one screw to do it. It's pretty amazing. I did it in the other video, and so you can check that out if you want to see how to take out the motor assembly here as well as the differential. It was very easy to do. I'm pretty sure it's one screw for the motor, and then it's like 4 or 5 screws to get to the diff. Super simple. So that's a quick look at how all of that comes apart. These are just good bashers. 4-wheel drive monster truck for $240 is a pretty good deal. That's usually what you're coming in for a 2-wheel drive monster truck. All right, so I thought these were a lot more similar, but there's actually a few more differences that I noticed. It's actually a longer wheelbase here, and the chassis is longer on the Sentin than it is on the Granite. And so you do have a little bit difference there, but the main layout and the way that these all work, these pieces here, back here, are the same, but it does have a little bit different chassis. It's got different bumpers, of course, because this is a short course truck. So this has a higher stance than the Sentin does. But the components other than that are the same, from the shocks to the drive shafts, and all these different A-arms are the same. But it does have a little bit longer wheelbase on the Sentin. So I thought I'd just point that out real quick. Well, that's a quick look at the ARRMA Granite Mega 4x4 truck. Again, they did have a two-wheel drive of this. They've kind of redesigned it from the ground up in many ways, but they've also released this Sentin 4x4 brushed version that you can check out. I've got a video of that as well, so be sure to look for that. I do, in that one, show you how to remove the motor and the diff and all of that. Very simple stuff to do, but again, this is somebody's present, and I don't want to go that and be that invasive with their truck. So I'm thankful for them for letting me take a look at this with you guys and kind of show you how they've put this together. I was actually surprised that it was a different wheelbase. I could have looked it up and I guess seen that, but I thought that they would have been sharing the same, basic chassis, which I didn't actually show you on the bottom here, this flat chassis that they've got here. Again, all plastic, everything nicely recessed in there. With the hex screws that they use all throughout. So this is a pretty decent truck coming in at $240, a 4x4. A lot of times you get a two-wheel drive in that price range. So they're a lot of fun, a great way to get into the hobby. And basically I started with a 12-turn brush truck when I got into the hobby. Mine was two-wheel drive. I had the Traxxas Stampede. And so this is kind of in that range, but it's getting it to you and four-wheel drive. And so that's pretty cool and impressive, as well as the way that they've laid it out and keeping it easy to work on for a four-wheel drive truck, which with the diffs and all of that can be a little bit trickier. So this doesn't have a center diff. It's just running the front and rear diff with the pinion gear on there. And so it keeps it kind of nice and easy to work on. So thanks for tuning in. As always, everybody, if you like what you see here, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Leave us a comment down below with questions that you might have. I've got some exciting new videos coming up, a couple more unboxings, as well as a project, couple of vehicles that I'm going to be working on and showing you here very soon. So thanks for tuning in. As always, we'll catch you next time.